we got Mattt.FX here. Is someone who I personally respect, not just for his results, but for his transparency and authenticity. He's got over 300K in payouts. Last month, he's pulled over 35K alone, and very transparent guy. You could check out his stories, Instagram, everything. Everybody, welcome Matt.
Thank you for having me, guys. Matt
So
effect on the come up.
exactly. So to kick it off, Jamie, let's start off with a quick, simple question.
Main one that we want to talk about today is something that Kyler talked about in the chat the other day, which was overcomplication. A lot of people that we see, I mean, myself included, this was something that I struggled with at the start because, I mean, the trading space is definitely a rough one, soaking in too much information because, you know, certain strategies and everything like that, like in Edge, it all comes to a point where you got it all. Then it's just you versus you, as we were just saying, you versus the market. So, Matt, then the question that I have for you was how did you go about keeping it simple and not absorbing too much information and sticking within your edge?
Definitely. So I'm assuming most of the people here are ICT traders, and
Mhm.
ICT is an amazing trader. He gives out knowledge every time. His new mentorships have brand new things for you guys to learn, which is amazing. And it's always good to be a student of life. Keep absorbing info, keep learning. But also that could also set you back a lot, because what happens is, what I've noticed with a lot of traders is they learn an edge, they start mastering it, they get used to it, they're seeing results, and then they start adding new things into it, incorporating new things that really drastically change the results, change the just the way it's going to perform. And what you think at the moment is, you think that you're actually doing yourself a favor, but actually you're setting yourself back more, because you're introducing a new learning curve into your edge. So the thing I preach, guys, is I always keep everything simple. I don't even change my strategy. Yes, the algorithm shifts, but you don't need to make such big changes to your strategy where you're completely relearning a new strategy. You just need to just adapt to the market, just do things differently. Now, like I said, simplicity is everything in trading, because what you want to do is you want to have just a set trading plan that you approach every morning, every night, whenever you trade, and you just follow that day in and day out. And that's where you seek consistency and discipline. Like I said, it doesn't mean you don't go learn new things. Definitely go absorb new information, but it doesn't mean you need to change a strategy. Your strategy should remain the same. Like, well, for example, there's confluences I learn. I keep my main strategy the same always. If I learn a new strategy that I know that I've tested and that actually increases my win rate, then I would incorporate it into my strategy. I don't just add new things into it whenever I want. Let's say I'm on ICT. ICT puts in a new method that, oh, it looks pretty cool. What am I going to do? I'm going to test it for a month. I'm not going to live test it. I'm not going to test it on my challenges. I'm going to test it paper trading, write the data down, and at the end of the month, see the results I gained from adding that confluence into my strategy. If it's positive, cool. Maybe I'll start incorporating it into my strategy. If it's negative or break even, there's no need to add this to my strategy. That's how you have to go forward now with when you guys take in information like this. Test it, not on your live. I don't care if it looks really cool. I don't care if it's giving you crazy results in the first week. It doesn't mean it's going to keep giving you those results week in and week out. Test it for a month, see what it does to your journal. Then you can make the decision at the end as a trader if you want to incorporate into your strategy and change things up. That's when you can justify that.
Okay, so that's how you would distinguish between absorbing a new piece of information and quote unquote strat hopping.
Well,
Yeah.
strat hopping, honestly, guys, I didn't really get into strat hopping. Strat hopping, none of you guys should ever do that. You guys
Right.
should know this by now, that every strategy is profitable. It's about the trader that's trading the strategy that makes it profitable or not. It's like a car. Let's say two of us are driving the same car, a crazy fast car. I could be the better driver, so I'm going to beat you with that car, even though it has the same horsepower, same
Mhm.
performance. It's all
Mhm.
about the trader. So don't worry about your strategy, guys. Your strategy is profitable. Look at ICT. I know a bunch of ICT traders that are unprofitable. I know a bunch of ICT traders that are profitable. Look at JCap, for
Mhm.
example. He just did $2 million in withdrawals, trading ICT, and that should be a big example to you guys, right? Your strategy works. You don't need to be changing things. You don't need to be adding new methods. You can just stick to the same strategy. JCap keeps it super simple, and look at the performance he has. He still loses. He still wins. Everything's normal. He's just a fucking good trader.
So then, a, a question that unless you want to take it away, Arlie, but I do have a question to follow that up.
Go for it, Jamie.
What would you say then to someone who, let's say that they had a discipline edge within ICT strategies, like, let's say, like, for example, the forever model by Justin Werland, if you're familiar. So like a liquidity sweep, a change in the state of delivery, something like that, where they just have these intricate little confluences that they use, but they keep on adding things to it. And for the last 2 years, they've just been accumulating all these pieces of information in their head. What would you tell them to start to, I don't, de-escalate's not the word, but simplify it, almost dumb it down a little bit, bring it back to an area where they are just focused on one strategy with their edge, their confluences, and kind of getting rid of all
Definitely.
that noise? How would you go about explaining that to them?
Like earlier, like I mentioned how it's about the edge. It's not about, I mean, it's about the trader, not the edge. What I always preach to traders that, or people I teach is, guys, you need to make your trading as simple as possible. The more advanced you make your strategy, the more complicated you make it, the less opportunity you're gonna have, and the less chances you're gonna have to engage in the market. And that might sound like a good thing, but it's not a good thing, because you guys are looking for this golden setup all the time. But you're not gonna understand is, when you guys see a golden setup in the market, you're 99% of the chance going to be stopped out, because that's what the market wants you to see. The best setups that work are the setups that you are afraid to take. The setups that are just
Mm,
coming into your zone violently, aggressively, and you're like, there's no way we're gonna get a rejection here. That's where your trade's gonna work. Why? Because this is how the
mm,
market is developed. The market is developed for us to perceive it that our edge is gonna work. So what? We get swept out, we get stopped. I've noticed,
mm-hmm,
if looking through my journal, that 80% of my winners are trades that I was not confident at all. And that's
mm,
why those trades win, because they don't
mm,
want you to be confident in your setup, because then if you can predict every winning move, you're going to win a lot. They don't want you to be able to predict the winning moves. They want you to be in
mm,
fear, so you don't take the setup and it works and it makes you emotional. Then you FOMO, you take shitty trades, and you completely mess yourself up. So back to the point of what he said is, yes, you want your trading to be as simple as possible. You want it to be so simple that you could teach a monkey to trade your strategy. If you can
mm-hmm,
get it to that point, that's when you're going to seek profitability, and that's when you're going to enjoy trading. Because if I'm getting on the charts and I'm fucking chalk, this, liquidity sweep, this, that, it's like, why am I doing this, bro? I'm trying to be a trader. I want to be on the charts for like 20, 30 minutes, get the fuck off, make money. Sorry for cursing. But I just want to make money and I
yeah,
want to get out of there. I don't want to be here waiting for this confirmation, waiting for that. Oh, liquidity swept, Asia low's been swept. Like, no, guys, get on the charts, have a step-by-step procedure, and just do that day in and day out, and that's when you'll find profitability.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So, I mean, just to touch on what you said, I mean, expecting the market to be manipulative. I know a lot of times what I'll do is like something that I'll say in my head is I wait for it to be screaming at me till like it came down to my setup perfectly, and it's like, all right, this is the make or break moment. It's scary, and not, it's not like I know, oh yeah, price is gonna go right here, but it's
Yeah.
screaming at me when it comes to all my confluences. So,
Exactly. You want that feeling of like, dude, this is gonna stop me out. Because when you feel that, you're gonna probably win this trade. If you're gonna take a
mm,
trade and you're like, holy shit, this is so beautiful. All my stuff is here. This looks
how
amazing.
can it go
I'm a,
wrong?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
up my risk. Man, you're getting stopped out. I'm sorry.
That's a really good
Um,
perspective on it. I
Harley, you have
mean,
anything to say off of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that is definitely a new look where majority of the guys in here, like that's a whole new perspective for them. So can we kind of go over and give them an example of how you trade and how you keep everything so simple and consistent?
for
Mm,
sure.
mm,
So how I have a trading plan set up. I have a certain time I trade every day. Like I said, there's opportunity every day, every time. Asia sessions moving, NY is moving, London's moving, all sessions are going crazy. But how I seek profitability is, I set myself one time every day where I'm allowed to get on the charts and mark up and go, and that's it. I don't give a shit how the market moves during NY. I don't care how many people are messaging me, oh, they caught all these trades. As long as I did my job, I showed up at 11 o'clock at night, I trade for 30 minutes, I do my markups, that's all I need to do. That brings simplicity into trading. That makes trading more enjoyable. That lets you enjoy your life. I'm not all day like stuck to my phone. Oh, alert hit. Let me get on the charts. Oh, this, that. No. 11 o'clock's my trading time. I get on. I do my work. I get off. Whatever happens, happens. I'm
I like
here.
it.
I'm a day trader. I'm here for the next whatever, thousands, hundreds of thousands of trades. Doesn't matter what happens tonight. Doesn't matter what happens next week. What happens is, I'm
Mm,
doing my job and I'm showing up every day and being consistent. This is the type of mindset you guys gotta have. Social media is putting this thing in you guys' head where you think it's fast money. You have to go on, have fun, trade, like TGR, all these guys, they're making it look so fun, like it's a casino. But that's the same mindset that the market wants you to have, so you completely destroy yourself. You guys gotta treat this like a business. This is what it is. It's a business. If you were to open a business right now, would you treat it the same way that these guys treat what they live stream? No, no chance. You got to be professional. You got to take data. You got to be a professional on the charts. You make sure you're sober, make sure you're alert, your emotions are in check. If you're having a bad day, don't trade. If you're having an amazing day where you feel off the charts, do not trade, because these are all emotions you do not want to bring into trading. You need to take this very seriously if you want to make this your career, guys. I'm telling you.
Being very self-aware of your emotions and everything that's going on in your outside world, and keeping that in correlation to the charts and whether or not you're taking those trades and whatnot. Staying disciplined
Definitely.
to your routine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now that
Yeah.
we're on the topic of emotions, I remember watching one of your podcasts with Alpha Capital Group, and you were
Hmm.
talking about how one of your biggest winning days was 35K, roughly around there.
Yeah.
And and you also mentioned how that affected your psychology in a negative way, where you were forcing trades hoping to get the exact same result over and over again. So how'd you
Mhm.
go by
Yeah, so
fixing that?
that's a good thing you brought up. So about in 2023, I had a $35,000 day on a 400K funded account. And at the time, I was like, wow, in 2023, I'm gonna be honest, I treated trading like a video game. I had no emotions to money. I didn't realize the purpose of money and how much money 35K was back then. And once I hit my bank account, like just seeing your bank account go up almost like $35,000, it really it changed your perspective on a lot of things. It makes you very cocky, ego comes into play, and you come with the mindset that you can replicate, make these numbers month in, month out, which is a very bad mindset to have. And at the time, like I said, I've never experienced large amounts of money back then. I never experienced big payouts like that. So that mindset really destroyed my trading in this fact that next month, what did I do? I tried to go for that big payout. And in order to
Mhm.
go for that payout, I was upping my risk. I was doing stupid things, forcing trades. And then it caused me to be unprofitable almost until the next year. So what I want you to guys to get out of this is, as soon as you start getting profitable, as soon as you start getting payouts, is don't let it get to your head, guys. In this game, we cannot have a consistent income. One month you're making 10K, one month you're making 30K, one month you're making 5K. Like, we can't control this. All you got to do as a trader is aim to be break even or aim to have a profit at the end of the month. That's what successful trading is, right? Look at hedge funds, for example. They're doing like 1 to 3% a month, and that's amazing for them. Like, they're celebrating doing those numbers. Us traders, guys, we're trying to get on the charts. We're trying to have 18% months, 20% months. Not realistic at all. It's a capital game. If you want 30K payouts, go get $3 million in funding. Then you can do 30K months, no problem. That's 1 hour for you, right? Don't chase these big numbers. Right now, how I do is my prop firm accounts, all my fundeds have a 3 to 5% cap biweekly. And 5% is like a lot. Like, I don't really want to go for 5. I usually cap around 3% biweekly. One of my alpha capital fundeds are on their 12th payout now. I have another alpha funded that's on its third payout now. So right there, guys, the odds of just getting to your first payout is, I'm just saying this as a motivation, is 0.07% chance, 0.007. Now I have 13 payouts with one account. And that's all from just being simple, keeping trading simple, having a profit cap, not going for big payouts, and just treating it like a business, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's not a gamble, it's not a casino. It is gambling, it's professional gambling, but the fact is, I'm creating a business. I'm making it a business at the end of the day. Get the whole gambling stuff out of your head. Don't look at social media. All it's there for is to make you, give you FOMO, bring fear, bring all these things into you. Another thing I always do is, when I trade, guys, I act like I'm the only trader in this world. Like, all you guys, everybody on social media means nothing to me. I'm the only trader in this world, and that way I can just compete against myself. I can push myself. I don't need to wake up and see some guy in a Lamborghini and be like, "Fuck, I need to take a bigger trade tonight." And that's the
Mhm.
mindset you guys need to develop. Stop. You don't know what all these people have been through. You don't know what I've been through. I don't know what you guys have been through. Everybody's their own person. Everybody has their own set of emotions. You've been through your own shit. You have trauma you grew up with. Everybody has their own psychological issues. You can't compare yourself to other people. Everybody's gonna learn in a different way.
Yep.
Exactly,
Yep.
and I
Yeah. We
always
actually we
preach
preach
this.
that a lot in
I
here. Yeah.
always preach that individuality. Now,
Yep.
Yep.
Matt,
Yep.
how did you personally, and how long did it take to get out of that rabbit hole of that psychology?
So I would say from I would say September, October is when I went downhill. And then I would say around November, December, I hit another 13, 14K in payouts. And then I went, and it still didn't hit me. I went downhill again. And as funny as it sounds, guys, is I went to Thailand in 2024. I spent most of January to, I would say, until the end of the year, guys, just struggling. I was making little payouts, but nothing to what I was doing before. I was struggling till the end of the year. Went to Thailand for 2, 3 months. I mean, 2 months, just to kind of reset my mindset. Try to clear things up. Didn't help. I was managing investor capital back then. I was big capital too. I went down $40,000 in drawdown on that investor capital. I was going through tough times, you know. But all it took, guys, is in November, I shifted my mindset. I went back to the drawing board. I figured out what was I doing in 2023 and what am I doing now. And once I had that talk with myself, I went back to that version of myself in 2023. And at this point, I'm going to be a much better trader because all that shit I went through in 2023, 2024 at the end, I developed a different side of myself. I realized what money is worth, how to be more mature, you know, how to do this the right way this time. And
Yeah.
to tell me that when I tell you guys, once I got it this time, I was unstoppable. From December to February, I made about $60,000 on that private investor account. I completely recovered drawdown and made profit. So imagine that. Imagine being like 13, 14, 15% in drawdown and having to just bring this thing back into profit and doing it in 2-3 months. I got funded with Alpha Capital in around November, December with one account, and that same account is still alive till today. It's on its 13 payout. I got 2 other funded accounts all alive right now. One's on its 3rd payout, and then one is on its 2nd. I just got that recently. So it's like it's all a mindset game, guys. The only reason I was unprofitable after that is because that big payout day getting cocky, you know, going overreaching myself. And the thing that saved me was cutting off friends. You know what I was doing? I was hanging with the wrong people, doing the wrong things. Now that I surround myself with winners, I'm a winner again.
Mm.
I don't go out as much. I stay smart. I control my emotions. I only surround myself with people who boost me, that make me a better person. Because at the end of the day, guys, the only thing you need to be growing and the only thing you need to be working on is your mind, right? I'm assuming most of you guys gym here, very important. Pretty much do anything that will make you feel happy, increase your dopamine, and, you know, make you a better person. Because that's what's going to make you a better trader at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Beautifully said.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, you touched on a lot of questions that I was gonna ask, and I didn't even have to ask
Yeah,
them. I mean,
that's the thing I do, bro. When I yap, I yap. Like I just go
yeah,
over
I
everything.
know, I love it. One thing that I do want to touch on in particular is you said that when you were back before you had that little like period of drawdown where you felt like you kind of lost it, you were treating trading like a video game where you had no
Yep.
emotions connected to anything within that. Is that still what you do now? And is that a way that you would recommend people like a headspace to be in where it's almost like, you know, when you're looking at the market, you're in a ranked game where you're just super locked in, nothing else is, you know, affecting
Yeah.
your mentality?
So the video game mindset back then, I meant it more in a sense of the money aspect. Like when I saw money floating, I looked at it as just numbers. Like I didn't understand the
Mm,
value of money. So that's what I
mm,
meant by a video game.
okay.
I grew up, I'm a video gamer, guys. Like high school, I was stuck on my computer, played all the games you guys can think of. Probably majority of the games you guys play now, I used to play back then. So I always had that mindset. That's why I came into trading so well. I just flowed right into it. Another funny thing is back in the good old days, I used to do CSGO jackpot gambling. Used to like when I was in high school, I used to gamble during class and do all that stuff. Like I was just, you know, it's part of me.
I know.
So getting those big money payouts was just something I always wanted. And in 2023, I was doing like 30, 40K months back to back from like April till September. It was crazy. And at the moment, like I said, I didn't understand what the value of the money was. But I feel like that really helped me because after I went to that shit time in my life, I really
Mm,
understood the value of money and how important it is. Yes, going for big payouts is awesome, but there's no longevity in it, right? You're putting yourself in a lot of emotional pressure. Your accounts will
mm,
likely be blown within 1 or 2 payouts. It's just not good long term wise. At the end of the day, you guys want to do this long term. If most of you guys want this to be a career, you want to make the moves that will allow you to stay in this game long term. Getting big
consistency.
payouts with small accounts is not smart, right? We can all agree on that. If you want big payouts, guys, increase your funding, buy more funding accounts. Another important thing is going to be a different question is invest in yourself, guys. Stop being scared to buy challenges. Make sure first of all, make sure you have money because the last thing you want to do is put yourself in emotional stress. But if you have
Yep.
capital, guys, do not be afraid to invest in yourself. Think of challenges as tuition. You know, you're investing in business. Like you're buying accounts to make you more money. It's like buying um what's it called? Inventory for your business, right? That's what a challenge is for you. Or a future if you guys are future traders, you know, same thing, a challenge for futures. Think of it as inventory. You need inventory to make you money. What I do and what I tell a lot of my students to do is you have like a little rotation going. One account gets funded, another challenge gets purchased. That challenge goes to phase two,
Mm,
another challenge gets purchased. You want to have a rotation going
mm,
for because that will keep you emotionally in check always. Now, what happens is traders get funded with one account and they're so emotionally attached to this account because they have nothing else cooking for them. That's what's happening to you guys. You get funded, all your emotion on this account, your whole life depends on this account because you wasted 2 months to get this account to funded stage. Then you blow it. And what happens? You go through emotional wreckage. What you need to do is when that account gets funded, you're working on a phase one at the same time, which you can take lower quality trades. You wait for higher quality trades when you're funded. When that account goes to phase two, that account goes to a payout. Then your another phase one comes into play. You have a phase two working. That account gets to funded. You have two fundeds now. That account goes to phase two. Another phase one comes in. You got to have a rotation going because that's what's going to keep you in the game long term, and that's what's going to keep emotions at its lowest point. Like I said, the worst thing to do is depend on one account. Do not do that, guys. If you can't afford 100Ks, buy 50Ks. If you can buy two, three of them. If you can't afford 50Ks, buy 25Ks until you can afford 50Ks. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I learned that the hard way.
Wow, yeah, I love that. Someone
That's a
asked, they
very
said, do
important
you
part.
copy trade?
So that's a good question. I used to copy trade back in the beginning. Copy trading is not good. The reason being is, let's say you take a loss, you're taking a loss on 3-4 accounts. What I do now is I spread out my risk. I trade 3 different pairs. So what I do is, let's say I have 3 different opportunities in the market. I just spread my risk out into 3 different trades onto 3 different accounts. That way I wake up, one account took a loss, one account took a win, another account took a loss, still up 4R on a trade. That's still money coming in my pocket. And it's much easier to recover a percent drawdown than recover all 4 accounts in 1% drawdown because it's just more emotional to you. You're down like, let's say 40, like 5-6K between those 4 accounts.
100%. Yeah, that's some good insight. Especially for people that, I mean, we've had a lot of our students now that are getting payouts and they're passing these evals. So yeah, that's definitely some good game. Referring to that. Now, another question that I do have is you talked about how a lot of people get connected to things that they see on social media. Like let's say you wake up and you are about to get on the charts and you look at your phone and you see someone in a Lamborghini that's making, 40K or something like that in a day, and it starts to affect your mental, and you're like, okay, maybe I need to risk more, or okay, I'm going to come at this day aggressively wanting to take a trade. How would you go about diminishing anything like that from your life? I mean, would you recommend people start to trade by themselves, not in a call? Would you recommend dopamine detoxes where people delete all their social medias? I mean, I know one that I used to do a lot was, as stupid as it sounds, I would delete my social medias and turn my phone black and white so it has no color. There's no dopamine coming
Yeah,
from it
my
at all.
buddies. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's not particularly directly correlated to trading, but it's still in that category of disconnecting from all that. So yeah, what would you say in terms of that?
I like that. So one thing I'm gonna tell everybody here is do not trade with other people. I'm gonna tell you this now. Like in my course, in my strategy, a lot of my guys are like, let's live trade, let's do this. I'm like, no, you're not live trading, you're not doing that. You wanna know why, guys? Because trading is your own game. You're not this is your own thing. You're your own boss, your own emotions, like we talked about. Everything's on your own. When you incorporate someone else into the call or you're trading with somebody else, unless you guys are exactly taking the same setup every day and exactly doing everything the same, adding anybody else's opinion into your trading is just going to set you back, because now you're incorporating a brand new another emotional person into your trading. Let's say you see a setup, some guy's like, hey bro, honestly I see this. Now your subconscious mind is now believing that he's right even if you don't think he's right. You're bringing a second thought into your trading. You have to do this yourself. My students, I tell them, like, I have some buddies who live here. I'm like, guys, when it's 11 o'clock, you guys go home, you guys do your trading, do your markups, and if you guys want to come see me, I don't want to hear about trading. I don't want to see anything about trading. I don't give a shit about your charts. I don't give a shit what you're trying to take tonight. I'm doing my own shit. This is my business. As soon as they come over here and they were like, hey, bro, I'm looking at Euro USD shorts and I'm taking Euro USD longs. Now, even if I know I'm a better trader than them, I'm going to still think about, oh, what if it does short? What if they're right? I'm going to go in the
Second
charts
guess
and now, like,
yourself.
look, it's second guess myself. And what? I'm going to remove my limit and then my longs are going to work. And what? Next tomorrow, I'm going to have FOMO. I'm going to get on the charts. I'm going to be pissed, take a shitty trade. Another loss right there. So trust me, guys, do not trade with people. Like I said, unless you guys are going to exactly shake on it that you're taking the same setups and you're not going to change each other's judgments. What was the other question? There was another point to this you wanted me to talk about.
Oh yeah, like the like disconnecting from the social medias
Oh,
and
yes, yes.
the flashy part of it. Yeah.
Social media, guys, think of it, you ICT traders, manipulation. That's what social media is. It's manipulation, it's
Mm.
liquidity. You guys are getting on these
Mm.
social media apps, you guys are going through shit, you guys are seeing all this stuff that's 90% fake. Half the shit you see are rentals, half the shit you see are people trying to sell courses, sell signal groups, sell whatever they want to sell. And what you're doing is your subconscious mind is taking this stuff in, and it's literally changing the way you think from this on. A thing I preach to a lot of people is remember what your input is and what your output is. Everything you're inputting into your brain, you're rewiring and you're changing the way you think. You know, what you need to learn
Awareness
to
helps.
do exactly. What you need to learn to do is a lot of the shit you see, you need to make sure that it goes into your brain and goes out your brain right away, because 99% of the shit you see is here to destroy you. The way these social media apps are designed is it's I don't want to get into propaganda here, but it's warfare. The Chinese government, all these countries, they're putting these stuff into our algorithm to make us think in a certain way. They want us to be unproductive. They want us to have all our dopamine used up there. They don't want us to be outgoing, motivational, pushing. Because when you seek motivation on your phone, you're telling your brain you're already motivated now. They're not going to seek it anywhere else. My word of wisdom for you guys, and it's hard to do. I struggle to do it now. I doom scroll all the time. Is get yourselves off social media. Even if you set a 30-minute timer, 15-minute timer to get on, do a little scrolling, get off, just set a timer for yourself, because the more you scroll, the more damage you're doing to your brain. I have a rule for myself now is I just go on social media to post my content, to respond to people, to engage with the community, and then I get the fuck off, because I know anything else past that is just going to affect me in a negative way. And it's hard to tell yourself this, because you're going to drink a little bit, smoke. I don't know if you guys smoke weed, and you're gonna get stuck on your phone for hours, and you do not understand how much damage you're doing to your brain in those hours of spending of doom scrolling. And trust me, guys, I've been there, I've done that. So take that advice to heart.
Yeah, 100%. I like that a lot, and I feel like if you do you kind of try to limit yourself. I mean, let's say 30-minute timer. I mean, I know you can put in like I have like the settings set up on my phone so that over all of my social media apps, after an hour on all of them combined, no matter what, it just like turns them off, and I need that
Yeah,
code or whatever to open it. Is staying disciplined to that as well, and not pressing, oh, give me 1 more minute or 15 more minutes. I feel like is another thing that's pretty imperative. I mean, staying loyal to yourself, what your brain telling yourself when you have those limits set for yourself, like staying disciplined to that. I mean, it all
yeah.
correlates back to trading,
It's
universal
at the
truth.
end of the day, guys. At the end of the day, it's like you guys are traders. You guys want to make millions. You guys want to make a living. But if you can't, at minimum, just stay disciplined. It's like, come on, man. Harsh realities. This is not for you. Like, if you can't stay disciplined, if you can't just follow a set of rules, it's time to go back to college. Like, it's harsh reality, guys. It's so simple. Like, all you got to do is be consistent, be disciplined, follow a set of rules, and you make money. And if you struggle to do that, then this is not for you.
Yeah.
And it's a harsh reality. You got to ask yourself. It's like, can I do this? Can I be disciplined? Can I follow what I tell myself, or am I every day showing up and just going against what I told myself yesterday? And it's a harsh reality, and some people hate to hear it. But if you can't do that, then this is not for you. Go do what you got to do. Go get a job. Go work in an office and be miserable. And I'm saying this for motivational purpose. I don't want you guys to take it to heart, but you have to tell yourself this, guys. You got to follow the plan. You guys got to do what you tell yourself. You got to do what you're writing down. If you're like, you guys want to make millions, you guys want to do all this, but you can't just follow something you write down, then kind of sad.
100%. I mean,
True.
a lot of the
True.
stuff you said so far, obviously as traders, it's sick with us. 100%. It's all relatable. Now,
Yeah.
let's kind of go back from how you started. I watched the podcast, and you said you started off as a prison guard. You're trading there and
Yeah.
stuff. What was the journey
Yeah.
like?
So for sure, I started in, I would say 2022. I started like messing around, like taking signals, jumping courses. And I was working in jail at the time, graveyard shift. So I was just trading London session, I was just trading what I see in the market. There was no strategy or anything, just trading, learning. And then as soon as I joined a trading floor, which is funny, there's a trading floor with my three buddies. What we did was we showed up every day at 12 o'clock at my buddy's house, and we would trade London session, and we would trade the same strategy, same setup. So that gets rid of that factor we talked about earlier. So everybody was doing the same thing. And the only reason we got profitable there is because everybody was doing the same thing and everybody was keeping each other in check. So like there was no mistakes being made. Everybody was emotionally in check. Let's say I wanted to remove a trade, my two friends would stop me, right? We were all just bossing over each other. So that was the first time I got profitable. I made like about, I would say about 20K within 2 months trading on that trading floor.
Do you
So
remember
that was
that
the
first?
first
That
time.
was your first payout. You remember that?
Yeah, my first payout in my Forex funds, I remember. And that
Yeah.
was the first time I opened my eyes. I mean, this is actually possible. And all it took was just being disciplined. It wasn't a strategy, because we were trading supply and demand, guys. We were literally London open. First supply, we just take a trade there. First demand, we take a trade. There was nothing else to. There's no confluences. We're just trading supply and demand, and I was able to be profitable, make money. And there's guys here that are trading like fucking 7, 9 confluences and liquidity sweeps, and they're still unprofitable, right? I was just waking up, taking a sell out of supply, and I made a payout. Like, it's that simple. It's simplicity and just being disciplined, and that's what made me profitable. And then we quit the trading floor. Things got rough. We started arguing. People were wanting to take longs. People wanted to take shorts because the markets were getting slow. Went to my own lane. Took about 2-3 months building my own strategy, because at this point I realized, holy fuck, this whole time it was all about just following one strategy. Of all the strategies I purchased, I built together my own strategy, my personal strategy. And then April hit, everything changed for me. From April until, like I said, September, it was just payout after payout weekly, accounts getting funded left and right. Got the opportunity to go to Miami to do the podcast with Angelo for TFT, and then from there my social media just started taking that seriously, and here I am today. It's been a journey, and one thing I love about this choice of career is, guys, there's never a point, like, I don't want you guys to think like, oh fuck, I got funded, I'm a profitable trader now. Like, no, man. Look at me as an example. I made 170K within 4 months, and I was unprofitable for almost a year and a half or a year. Like, this game isn't a game where everything clicks. Like, the way they say it on social media, it's like, oh my god, you're clicking moment, now everything's gonna go up for you. No, man. This game, every day you show up to the charts, it's a new learning day. You're gonna go through a new emotional barrier. You're gonna have to fight demons almost weekly. Like, last month, like I said, I made $35,000 in a month, and that's with 4 trades, guys. I took 4 trades, I made 35K. And this month now, like I said, now I have a new demon to fight. I made $35,000 this month. Now I have a pressure that I want to make $35,000 this month. So what am I going to do? How am I going to manage myself this month? And already May 1st, I made $6,000 on May 1st, and I have an $8,000 payout coming in about, hopefully tonight, it'll hit from Alpha Capital. So I'm already up about 10K, 13K for the month. And so projection wise, like realistically, mathematically wise, I have 4 weeks now to hit my 35K goal. I don't care if I hit the 35K goal. I'm blessed no matter what, but it's much more ideal now because I have the capital to support that. Back then I just had one 400K account. Now I have like 5-6 accounts that can all generate me up to that income. So it's much more realistic now. So like I told you guys, it's just a game of capital. That's all this is.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah,
But
that's
give me a second. Hold on for a second.
really
So
awesome.
while Jamie's asking questions for the audience, if you guys have any questions right now, feel free to send them in the chat. Jamie, go for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, one thing I guess that I really liked is that you talked about how it's not like something that just clicks. Like, it's something that over time, it's just kind of something that you just better yourself and you put it in there. I have a detailing business, and one thing that one of my mentors told me is you're only as good as your last job. And I like to relate that to trading as well, and say like you're only as good as the last trade or like the last day that you traded. So like
Yep.
everything every day you have to put in 100% of yourself, everything that you've learned, and you have to continue to be, that best version. That was kind of a takeaway and an analogy that I had on that part. Other than that, no, I mean, yeah, that's beautiful. Arlie, do you have any
Yeah.
questions?
So another thing was a really good takeaway is how you got out of that rabbit hole after hitting that 35K. You went back to your journal, you self-reflected, and you just went back to what you did. So that goes to show how important journaling is, and having that moment of self-reflection to go back, and think, okay, what am I doing right? What was I doing right? What am I doing wrong now? And just adapt and learn, right? So journaling is important.
Journaling is one of the most important things as being a trader, because at the end of the day, all our game is probabilities. And how do you track probabilities? You have to data it. You need to journal it. You need
Exactly.
to write down all the important factors: what time you're entering a trade, how much R, date the date is. You got to find what days are the most profitable, how much RR you're hitting average, what confluences are causing you to have winners. Like, all this data is so important. The more data you write down, the more, like, if you're going onto your journal and you're like, fuck off the journal, man, bro, understand that you're sitting in front of a money pit right now. Because at the end of the year, you literally have data that could make you any sum of money. All you have to do is compile your data, go through it, and build a better strategy for the next year to come. Because that data is so sacred. You guys don't understand this. Prop firms pay millions for data. All these prop firms you guys are trading with, they're literally selling data to each other for millions and millions of dollars. All your guys' executions, all your guys' trades are being sold to hedge funds, to prop firms for millions and millions of dollars because your data is so sacred to them. They can find out a lot about you. They could build algorithms to fight you, to take you down. And that's why we need to use our algorithm to our data to our advantage, because that's the end of the day, that's what's going to make us money for the next year. An easy thing you guys can do is what I do is when at the end of the year, I just take all my data, I just plug it into ChatGPT and I ask it, hey, go through my whole journal, all my data, and tell me what I need to be doing next month to make my strategy even better. And he's like, okay, Matt, take this confluence, make sure this confluence is always in your trade, make sure you're entering trades around this time, make sure you're aiming for this average RR because that's what you're hitting at average. And bro, it does wonders, guys. You're sleeping on it if you're not doing this.
But for those who don't know how to journal, we actually have a journaling video up on OPT YouTube, so definitely go check that out.
I was just gonna say that's so funny that you talk about that because not even like 2 hours ago I was sitting here with Arlie. We were just on a quick phone call and I was telling him like, yeah, there was this AI prompt that I put in and then I had it
Yeah.
quiz me and ask me a bunch of different questions and it would tell me what I'm doing wrong, what I can do to improve. Definitely, if you guys have not done that, AI having it go through it for you, I mean, it's kind of just like getting a second opinion from an
Exactly.
all-knowing source.
So we got a couple questions in the chat. You mind going over and reading
Yeah.
those?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had Glubo say, if you continue to take losses using your edge, let's say a bad week or a bad month, etc., how do you know whether to change your strategy or to stay disciplined and trust the process?
Okay, so this is where journaling comes into play, guys. So when I go through down drawdown periods, I doesn't affect me at all because I have a journal and I already know what my worst loss streak is and how it's gonna end. So let's say I lose a trade. In my strategy, the most losses I'll ever take is 3 trades. If I take more than 3 trades, more of a 3 loss streak, I know I'm doing something wrong, or the algorithm's completely shifting on me. So I already know that. So what I usually do is, for example, when I start going into a loss streak, I don't change my strategy. I don't change anything. I just keep executing it. And what I'll do is, worst case, if I take more than a 3 loss streak, I just wait for higher probable setups. Now I just stop taking more lower risk, medium risk setups. I go for more higher risk because that way I know that I need this next trade to be a winner to clean up my drawdown. And my RR is 4 to 5, so I could take 4 to 5 losses and have just one winner and clean the whole mess up. So to me, I'm to the point doing this for 3 years. Losses do not really affect me much anymore. It's more of like, oh, I took a loss. Okay, show up again tonight, rinse and repeat. And I have the journal to back that up. I have 3 years of data to back that up. That's why I'm so confident, and that's why I'm preaching to you guys to journal, because once you get that confidence, these losses will never affect you. It's just
Mhm.
it's just a little setback. It's like, okay, 1% down. Let's show up tonight and let's make it back. Or loss again, cool. Okay, my third trade should win. Third trade loses, cool. Fourth trade should win. Fourth trade wins. There you go. Now you're still in a percent profit. So just journal, guys. Remember, losses is all part of the game. As much as you win, as you're gonna lose. As depending on your win rate, you need to calculate that. If you have like a 50% win rate, you're gonna lose 50% of the time. You're gonna win 50% of the time. So treat your winners and losses the same. It's not easy. It's easier said than done. I understand that, but you have to get to that point if you want to be doing this long term. Because if you allow trades to losses to eat you up, you will get destroyed very quickly. One thing a lot of new traders do is they think outcome based. So outcome based thinking is the worst fucking thing to do. And an example of outcome based thinking is this: holy fuck, if I hit this win tonight, I'm gonna be funded, or I'm gonna pass my phase one off this trade. Oh, if I win this, I'm gonna make this much money, or I'm gonna do this. That's the worst fucking way to think, guys, because what you're doing is you're
Mm-hmm.
setting a bunch of emotions into every fucking trade you take. Do not tell yourself any of that. All you need to be telling yourself is, okay, does this trade fit my rules? Yes. Does this trade look good to me? Yes. Cool. Take the trade. No, nothing else you need to think about. Wake up in the morning or whatever you do. I lost. Cool. Did the trade fit my rules? Yes. Cool. Valid loss. On to the next. As soon as you start putting these thoughts into it, like, oh, this is going to pass me, this is going to do this, you're going to FOMO, you're going to close your trade early, you're going to be emotional, you're going to close your trade when it's halfway to stop loss and it's going to come back and go to profit and TP. It's like, stop thinking like that, guys. You're here for the next fucking, you're going to be trading for the rest of your life. Who gives a fuck what happens to this trade? Does not matter. Does not affect you at all. It's just a trade. It's like dying in a video game. Does that affect you? No, just come back alive and go kill some more people. Like, simple.
Yeah,
That's how you got to
absolutely.
think
It
of
kind of
it.
circles back down to what you were saying. I mean, being like long-term focused. Absolutely, well articulated. Wilkes asked, "Did you blow your first funded?"
My first funded was during the trading floor. So actually, I did not. I've got to 2 payouts with it, and then I blew it. And
Okay.
the reason, like I said, I got to my payout is because I was trading with a group of people. I was psychologically in check. I wasn't making mistakes. I was doing the same thing day in, day out. So there was no reason for me to blow my funded. That's why I was so successful back then, because like I said, I was following a set of rules, I was disciplined, and I was in check. And that's what you need to be as a trader. If you don't have someone else to help you do that, you need to do it to yourself. It's very difficult, but like I said, if you want to do this long term, you're going to find a way to do it, because you're going to be successful. You want to be successful.
We kind of already touched on it, but Emil said a couple minutes ago, how crucial was distancing yourself from the wrong people for your trading career?
All right, that's a great question, because in 2024, like I said, the funniest thing ever is I distanced myself from the bad set of friends, and the next 2 weeks I got funded, and everything changed in my life. I shit you not. I would actually say that my friend group was the whole reason why I was unprofitable last year, like at the end of 2024. Soon as I cut them off, and it's not really them in particular, it's the fact that I was so busy with them. I was going out every day. I didn't really care. I was doing bad things. I wasn't, doing what I was doing in 2023. And as soon as I distanced myself, everything changed. I'm consistent. I'm disciplined. I'm showing up every day. I'm gymming at the right time. I'm eating clean. Like, I'm taking my life seriously, because if I can take a step that completely changes my life, because I was hanging out with these guys all the time. I was, out and about. And if I had the discipline to change that part of my life, everything else before that, it will be easy. As soon as I did that, everything cleared up in my life. I'm showing up on the right time. I'm trading correctly. I'm eating correctly. I'm gymming correctly. And that's what you need to do as a trader. As a trader, routine is the most important thing. If you do not have routine in your life, you're going to be a complete mess. I have a calendar on my phone. I have a set time to gym. I have a set time to eat. I have a set time to watch podcasts. I have a set time to trade. You need that. Your subconscious mind needs things like this, because then that you bring that over to your trading. You bring the consistency and discipline over to your trading. And that's the mindset of a trader, guys. That's if you have to do
Awesome,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
100%. That's that one thing I was preaching a lot back in TGR days. A lot of the guys would come up to me and ask questions in regards to their friends. Yo, this guy's telling me stop trading, come hang out with us. It's just a phase. All this, all that. I would always tell them, just cut them out. They're an anchor. They're useless to you at the end of the day, right?
Definitely.
If you want to
Yeah.
progress, you have to cut things out. Okay, that's simple, simple. Jeremy, on to the next question.
One of our students, Young, who does very well, he said, would you like one focused on psychology or strategy instead? What
That's
do
a
you
good
like best?
question. I personally would put my 70-80% focus on your psychology and like 20% on your strategy. It's like the gym, guys. The gym, your 80% of your focus should be on the diet, and your 20% is in the training. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because your diet is what's going to make the training work. Same thing with trading. Your psychology is 80% of trading, and if your psychology is perfect, your strategy will be perfect. Like I said, any strategy is profitable. You could literally stop trading ICT. You could fucking just trade London Open and click buy and sell. And if you do it consistently and disciplined enough, you will be profitable doing that. I
Mm-hmm.
shit you not. It's proven. You can literally hit buy and sell at London Open and be profitable. Like I said, the analogy I told you guys earlier about the car, it's all about the driver. I could trade the same strategy as you. One of you guys, I could learn ICT. Let's say I'm an ICT trader. I trade like you guys. I will trade that strategy better because I know what it takes to be a profitable trader. Your strategy is completely profitable. Your strategy can make you a lot of fucking money. It's just you as the driver of the strategy that's not ready to drive that car. You need to get yourself in check. You need to get your life in order. You need to think correctly. You need to ask yourself the right questions. You need to input the right knowledge into your brain. You need to journal. There's so many things you need to be doing, guys, and that's when you'll seek profitability. If right now one of you guys was to get profitable, and let's say you got lucky, you won't keep that funded account. I'm telling you right now. If you're thinking the way you're thinking, I'm not assuming that you guys are all thinking like this, but let's say you're thinking the way I think, you won't be able to maintain that funded account. You might get lucky to your first payout, but you'll go through a downward spiral, and it'll actually take a bigger hit on you, because you put all that work to get funded, and then it gets taken away from you, and then that's when the emotions say, like, fuck, what if this is not for me? What if I'm not made to trade? I worked so hard to get funded, and then it got taken away from me, blah blah blah. No, man, it's because you weren't ready mentally to manage that funded account. You didn't have the right expectations. You don't have your right life. Your life's not in the right order. Get everything ready before you get funded. Write down what I want you to do, guys, after this call is I
Mm-hmm.
want you to write down what a funded trader looks like. I want you to write down a note, write a paragraph or whatever, write down what a funded trader looks like to you. And then after, I want you to read that to your fucking self every day. And then put that into your subconscious mind. So when you do become funded, that's how you should be. That exact person you write down is what you should be when you get funded, and that's when you'll maintain a funded account, and that's where you'll go places with trading.
Well said.
I love that.
Beautiful assignment as well.
We had Young asked another question. He said, "What's the one habit that truly changed your trading game?"
The one habit for me, it's pretty much part of my trading, which is limit orders. You could consider it a habit because, putting limit orders every night is a habit. For me, I used to market execute. And what I've noticed with market executing, I would hesitate. I would not take trades. I would, just a lot of emotional things would come into play for me. As soon as I got into limit trading, that's when my life changed. And it's because I have now a no touch approach to trading. I just set my limit and I'm in it whether I like it or not. Like, remember what I told you guys about? The biggest winning trades are the ones that are scary. The scary looking trades are the winning trades. And with limits, I'm getting into those scary trades whether I like it or not. With market execution, I see the trade coming up. Oh, should I enter? It's coming so violently. It's gonna fucking sweep me out. I'm not gonna enter. And that's what costs me a lot of money. And another habit to add into that, I don't know if a lot of people can do this, but I have, in the times when I'm in, I can take a trade and go to sleep. And that factor is my moneymaker. That's what's allowed me to make all these these big payouts, even back to less than 2023. Why? I'm asleep. I wake up to fucking a big winner or I wake up to a loss. Simple. There's nothing in between. I'm not gonna wake up at 3 a.m. and be like, fuck, I'm gonna go on the charts. And no, I want to sleep. I don't give a shit. It's a percent, I don't give a shit. That's what's made me so much money is just sleeping and taking a trade. Now you guys could do other things. You could be like take a trade and go to work, or take a trade and go out for like 5-6 hours, enjoy your day. You can figure out ways to make it happen. Just find what works for you. As a trader, like I said, as you journal, you'll find new things you need to overcome, and you just need to find obstacles that need to be overcome and just find the fix for it. And that's where you will see the most amount of changes in your life.
Yeah, so it's being able to just set and forget and be completely disconnected from the outcome of the trade. I mean, I like the way you said it's just a fucking percent. Oops, sorry. It's just a percent. I mean, who cares, you know? I like that a lot. We had Wilkes say, "Are you a swing trader?"
No, I'm an intraday trader, so I would say my trades usually take about, I would say 3, 4, 5 hours to hit 4 or 5 RTP.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much limits that are on London session. I get tapped in around, let's say, 3 to 4 a.m. and then I would be TP'd around like 7, 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
Matt, would you say that you have mastered psychology for trading?
Oh, hell no, bro. Hell no. I don't think you can ever master psychology for trading. What you'll just learn to do is you'll learn to work around the psychological issues you've found. Like I said right now, I had an issue with executing. What did I do? I started using limits. I had a problem closing my trades early. What did I do? I started sleeping during my trades. You got to just find ways to work around your emotional issues. You're never going to overcome it. I'm sorry to tell you this, guys. You might be able to ease it up a bit, but whatever you're facing, it's always going to be a part of you. And this is from shit that's happened to you when you were a kid, trauma you faced, sympathy. I'm not saying you were like abused or something. I'm saying like as a kid, you could have been like scared. You got scared by something, and that has enough damage to subconsciously affect you that it's causing you to have different emotional issues now. And it sounds weird, but it's 100% facts. I've talked to many psychologists, and the things you grow up with really make you a trader and change the way you are. So like I said, the only way you can really fight with your psychological issues is you got to just find ways to work around it, and that's the best thing you can do.
It's kind of like Pavlov and the dog, if you're familiar, where like they hear the bell and their mouth starts to salivate. I mean, there's nothing that they can do about it. It's just what their brain has been taught to do.
Exactly.
So
We're
yeah,
humans.
yeah, yeah,
Fight or flight mode always for us. When we see money, that's a fight or flight mode. You can't really change that. You just got to learn to work around it.
yeah. That's awesome. And I mean, I know you said like talking about like writing down how a profitable trader should be, and you being that person and understanding like that is who you have to be to continue to progress. So then you said
Yeah.
you have not mastered any psychology as a profitable trader. Something that I guess that my question for you would be that if you were writing that paragraph that you would write down would be that you're always having to be self-aware and progressing and making those self-aware changes to your mental and things like that that continues on. How then do you distinguish that those kind of like little changes compared to absorbing new information and maybe not strategy hopping but adding things to your strategy versus just being self-aware and making those mental changes? How do you differentiate and go about that?
So what you're asking is like, as a trader, when you're now introduced to new knowledge or new
Yep.
new ideas, what you should do with the knowledge? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
What I would say to you guys now is, like I said, you guys are ICT traders, so you guys are gonna get an abundance of information every fucking year. This guy's gonna release a new mentorship with new models, new whatever. But what I want you to do is just, like I said, when we talked about in the beginning, simplicity. I just want you to go back, find what was giving you results. You know, go if you, I don't know who's journaling right now, who's not, or if you remember, just go back and remember the time where you were getting results, you know? And that's what I want you to be doing. When you see results, you're doing something right. There's no need to add new things. There's no need to take things out. As soon as you see results, that's where you should put the barrier. You know, stop, keep doing this for a couple months, see how it goes, right? Now, when you're a more experienced trader, you have results, you've been getting funded, you're getting challenges passed. Now when you see new data, is that's when you incorporate that thing I told you guys. Start paper trading it for a couple months with your strategy, see what it does. Does it affect your strategy in a positive way, a negative way? Then after the testing is completed, then you can slowly start to incorporate into your strategy. This is how it should work, guys. On a business, when you're running a business, are you just gonna fucking learn something new and just toss it into your business right away? No, you're gonna test it. You're gonna figure out what it does, how it's gonna affect you emotionally. Like, there's so many factors to this, guys. Stop seeking new information and just work on what you have, because what you could have could be the key to success, and you just don't realize it. You're just not patient enough with it.
100%.
I like that.
Matt, any last words before we wrap this up?
My last thing for you guys is, I don't know if a lot of you guys are spiritual. I'm not talking about a religion way. I'm talking about manifestation. I'm talking about the words you say to yourself. It's a very important thing. I expect you all, or I want you guys all, to make sure to ask yourselves the right questions every day, to tell yourselves what you want, to set high goals for yourself. You know, what I like to do is I have a list of things I want to achieve in my life, and I look at this list every morning, every night. And every time I achieve one of the things, I put a green check mark beside it. So every night I look and I can see that, holy fuck, I might be having a bad day today, but look at the progress I'm making. Look at all these goals I've already checked in my life. And this is what motivates me to wake up the next morning and to attack the day at my 100%. Be spiritual, guys. You know, you're in a game that's all about the mind, and spirituality is what's going to help that. Ask God for the right things, you know, aim high, never give up, because if you give up, you're giving the losers what they want.
Beautifully said. Never give up.
Mm.
Respawn
Like
and get
like
better.
exactly.
Respawn and
Like
get
Justin
better.
Bieber said, never say never. It's all
Yep.
possible.
Game.
Well,
Awesome.
this sums it up,
Hey,
guys.
Matt, I appreciate
Matt.
you
Respawn. I
coming
love
on.
that.
Really
Respawn and
nice.
Yeah,
get better.
Yeah,
that's
No
a
worries.
bar right there, David. Matt, thank you
Yeah.
so much
you can
for
go next.
taking your time,
No worries, guys.
preaching your words to the audience. Everybody, drop a thank you, guys. Make sure you
Yeah.
guys go check out Matt's Instagram. It's the same thing as his Discord.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Plug everything, Matt. Plug everything.
No worries, guys.
Matt3ts.fx.
Yeah, give me a follow. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys can take something out of this. And, you know, I always want to see people win. And I can see all you guys winning here. You just got to put in the work, and big things will happen for you guys. Like it happened for me. I'm no different from you guys. Just 24 years old. I barely made it through high school. No difference than any of you guys. So
What was your GPA?
make it happen, guys. I don't even know. That's how bad it was.
Relatable.
Let's just say I just made it out of grade 12.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
congrats, man.
Thank you, guys.
Inspirational.
Thank you. It
Keep
was
doing
nice
what you're
being here,
doing, Matt.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Good
Absolutely.
luck
Thank
with
you
your
so
guys'
much,
week.
man.
Have a good trading week, guys. Talk to you guys soon.
Yes, bro.
Thank
Enjoy the
you.
rest of the weekend.
All right. See you later, guys.